Hi everyone, today is October 31st, 2020. This is the Duel Assessment, your podcast for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. My name is Green Ranger. Happy Halloween, everyone. This is an episode all about Shark. So, in this week in the Duel World, we got the Shark Attack event, and we also got the characters. So, separately, we'll talk about the two new cards from the Shark Attack event, as well as level up cards and duel skills. Doug Dimmaduel has a auto-duel deck, rank 4 XC summoning auto-dueling deck. Comes in handy in times when you get these legendary characters, so you can get through their various requirements for gems. There's requirements for gems where you would have to do some XC's plays to get them, and as well as general leveling up of characters quickly so you can get their rewards fast. So nice to get the rewards fast and have all the cards to play. So get your cards to play. So check out Doug's casual deck of the week with that auto duel deck. We also have, let's see what else we have. New card from Mission Circuit called Playmaker, and also going over some of the tournaments that went on this week. Alright, so my week in the duel world, not much, but I've been playing a new deck, and I saw this deck as one of the spicy decks of the week on Duel Links meta, and it's the Chain Beat deck. I think that's what it's called. I'm not exactly sure, but you're playing as a Kiza, which is a bonus, and it's the Dark Verger skill. And basically, you're playing Wind Up Rabbit, which is one of the R cards from the last box. It could banish itself. It comes back every turn, so you banish yourself when your opponent has a board, and then you play Zero Force, the trap card that makes their attack all zero. So it's basically a combo deck with that. Bring your rabbit back, and then you set up a big play. There's also some other parts to it. The reason you run the Akiza skill is because you have 3 copies of Spore in that deck. So Spore, level 1 tuner, brings back Dark Verger. Level 2, make a level 3 synchro summon of Yugioh Guardian, and have 2 copies of that card. Then you make a rank 3 XC's play with Wind Up Carrier. Wind Up Carrier brings up Wind Up Rabbit. It's basically a rank 3 XC's toolbox deck. A lot of control in it. A lot of those good trap cards. So I've been playing it, but I'm not playing it well. Not at a high level. I'm just at Legend 1. Today is the last day of the season. Halloween's the last day. They're going to reset the new ranked rewards probably by the end of today. So it's just something to do, I guess. When I'm serious about playing, I'll play Karkuri. That's a deck I never really perfected, but yeah, that might be the deck I use for the Kaiba Cup when it comes. But this Chain Beat deck is a good way to pass time in the meantime. In terms of esports this week, Duel Links Meta is holding an MCS today, so we'll have the result of the MCS by next week, but we only have the Meta Weekly 148 this week. So Karkuris are back in representation. They showed up the most here. Invoked Magician girls are making moves up. Kristrons are back. Shiranui are still here. The combo version seems to be fading away, though. First place Blodgeron. Balance Weather Painter. So Weather Painters have been outfitted into an XC's deck here. All the monsters are level 3, so that's perfect for rank 3 XC's plays. There's an innovation here where because it's a balanced deck, you have to run a certain number of spells. And along with those Weather Painter spells, there's Necro Valley and 2 copies of Valhalla, Hall of the Fallen. So this is a card where you could special summon a fairy monster. So basically, there are these situational cards that let you special summon things. They're going to be good for XCs. Doug Dimmaduel will have a bunch of them in his rank 4 auto duel deck, but this is a good card for this deck because all of the Weather Painters are fairies. They're all ranked level 3 fairies, so you can make a rank 3 play. A lot of control traps here: Raigeki Break, Karma Cut, Rainbow Life, Thundery Canvas, of course, and Hallowed Life Barrier. In terms of the toolbox itself, a lot of decks run this Trishula Dragon of Imprisonment. In terms of the XD's monsters, we've got Levy Air the Sea Dragon, number 17, Leviathan Dragon, Mellow Melody, the Brass Jin, and also Wind Up Zenmanis. Second place Trooper M1 level augmentation Shiranui. So Shiranui are back. They never really went anywhere. They had that combo version. This is not the combo version. Very basic deck. 1 Kazuki, 2 Sphere, 3 Solitaire, 2 Squire, 1 Samurai Skull, 2 Spectral Sword, 1 Cosmic, 1 Forbidden Lance, 2 Ballista Squad, 1 Needle Ceiling, 2 Bad Aims, 2 Karma Cuts. Top 4 last awful level duplication Shiranui. Again, nothing new here. 2 Gozuki, 3 Solitaire, 2 Squire, 1 Spectral Sword Shade, 2 Spectral Sword, 3 Ballista Squad, 3 Phoenix Chain, 2 Floodgate, 1 Needle Ceiling, 1 Sealing Ceremony of Catan. And finally, top 4 Myth Yard, Draw Sense, Dark, Invoked Magician Girl. Invoked Magician Girls are making strides up. Draw Sense Dark really makes the deck since Alistair is the only dark monster in the deck. The other cards, they have attributes that fit with the Invoked. So, Chocolate Magician Girl for Coxidus, Berry for Megallonica, and Apple for Purgatrio. I have seen some decks run Fortune Fairy N instead of Apple Magician Girl as the fire attribute. Other decks here, got Karakuri deck that runs Draw Sense low level. Restart Karakuris, of course. Level duplication combo Shiranui. Draw Sense Dark Invoked Magician Girls. Top 16, we have Witchcrafter deck. Haven't seen those in a while. Spell Specialist Witchcrafters. Peak Performance Black Wings. Peak Performance Black Wings. Mythic Depths Crystron. See Stealth version. Level Duplication Crystrons. Draw Sense Dark Invoked Magician Girl. Endless Trap Hell Guki. Restart Karakuri. It's basically what the meta looks like right now. Okay, so Duel Links meta tier list. Some movement on the bottom of the scale. Karakuris are still tier 1 decks. They seem to be going that way into the Kaiba Cup. Tier 2 Blackwing Combo Shiranui, Control Shiranui, and Crystrons. Tier 3 we see Invoked Magician Girls, Ritual Beasts, and Witchcrafters. And off the list are Heroes and Invoked Roids. I was pretty sure that Invoked Roids were going to be there, but they've been swapped out with the Magician Girl, which was what was expected from the last top player council. They had the Invoked Magician Girls. People said they were memeing. They're here now. It's good to see nice use of those cards. Besides being like a farming deck that they were. So for this event, 2 new cards from this drop pool. Some of these are not useless. A lot of these cards are useless in this drop pool, but there is also Water Hazard, which now that I think about it is the exact same card as Valhalla Hall of the Fallen, but this is for any water monster, and that is for any fairy monster. So, really, this card could be considered for a Water Xyz deck down the line. Pretty good card. Alright, let's talk about the 2 new cards. These are not part of his level up pool, just to make clear of that. Only from this event, so you need to get them from this event. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon, Water, Rank 3 Dragon. 2 level 3 monsters, 2000 attack, 0 defense. Once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material from this card. This card gains 500 attack. If this card has no Xyz material, it cannot attack your opponent directly. Not that good at all. This has the benefit of being a quick 2500 attacker. Just 2 level 3 monsters. If you have that Water Hazard out, you can do it pretty easy. There's probably other easier ways to do it, but it becomes 3000 attack. It can't even attack directly, so it's just for hitting things. Not that good. And then it gets no bonuses from any field spells because it's a dragon. It is water, but it's dragon, so it doesn't really work with the other archetypes that are associated with water. Dragons are typically dark or light or fire, pretty much. So, yes, it doesn't really fit. It is a rank 3 though, and it could be a beater, but then it can't even attack directly. So it will see play in rank 3 Xyz toolboxes for now, but it has generic Xyz requirements, so it's fine for rank 3 toolbox, but In the same time, this is not very good at all. It'll get replaced when we get some better monsters. Right now, it's not very good at all. Really, no reason to play the card. Now, the other card's pretty good though. Shark Stickers, level 3, water, fish, 200 attack, 1000 defense. When a fish, sea serpent, or aqua is normal or special summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon this from your hand. This card cannot be used as synchro material. So, kind of like Goblinberg, there are these cards that just help Xyz plays. It could work for a lot of different cards. This is one of them. It works for any fish, sea serpent, or aqua. You hope they're level 3 though, so you play them, and then you could special summon this from the hand. Combo of like a water hazard, you could do like three level 3 monsters, make a big rank 3 play with 3 overlays on them. So, yeah. Generic Xyz material, quick rank 3 Xyz summon, no synchro, really good. Make sure you get 3 copies of that card for sure. Get through the event. I've done this lab builder farm deck that they have on Deluxe Meta. Very easy farm. I don't think I've ever really messed it up. Because you play lab builder, you can't even get over the lab wall. You just draw a lot of stuff. Legacy of Yata, good Goblin Housekeeping, Jar of Greed, Thunder Dragons, Thunder Dragon Dark, Dark Flare, pretty much attack directly with Vassal, Shield and Sword. Yeah, super easy farm. Now, when you get the character, which was unlocked yesterday, there's a mix of new and old cards in his reward pool, and then also some exclusive skills. So let's go through Shark. As the name indicates, he's a water duelist, as we talked about. Some of the cards he had before, they're water themed. So Mako Tsunami, without the water freaky fish guy. It does go into his storyline, apparently. He was like an ancient spirit or something, or a Barian lord or something. I don't know if I don't think he exclusively talks about water things though. He's just like a guy. He's kind of like Kaiba, the main rival of Yuma and Astral. So he plays that card and he plays that role. Yeah. Let's talk about the level up cards. 3 copies of Big Jaws. Interesting card though. Level 3 Water Fish, 1800, 300. At the end of the battle phase, if this card attacked, banish it. Right now, this card doesn't seem to have a use, but there's a whole thematic thing with his dual skills and also other cards it comes with. Seems useless right now, but we did see Wind Up Rabbit see a bunch of play with the Chain Beat deck I was talking about. So there's a combo potential of 0 Force here, but there's some other uses with Big Jaws. Yeah, it could banish itself, and then Levy Air the Sea Dragon could bring it back. It will have 2000 attack with a field spell. There could be some kind of water beatdown deck going on. I think this card could have a lot of potential thanks to the dual skills that work with it. Yeah. Right now, on its own, it doesn't seem great. It's just 1800 with a banish. It doesn't come back, unlike Wind Up Rabbit, but there is definitely synergy with some of his other skills and cards. Okay, so we get 2 copies of Fish and Kicks, and this is a card we first got from Mako, so we got 3 copies of this card now. It's a normal spell. If you have 3 or more banished fish, sea serpent, or aqua types, target 1 card on the field and banish it. There you go. This has specific synergy with Big Jaws. It's hard removal on a normal spell, so slow speed spell, not a quick play spell. You target a card and banish it. I think it's pretty fair though, because target and banish a monster. It doesn't Cosmic Cycle is fast, quick play, but it is only spells and traps, so this can hit anything. Slow speed spell means it can get chained. That's totally fine. This is probably better against a monster because of that, so your opponent can activate back row or whatever to chain it. They can't really do that with monsters unless they have a quick effect, so good removal on face down, face up monster. Yeah. It is strong removal, but you need some setup. You need to banish those 3 monsters unless this card becomes a dead card in the hand if you don't have those 3 monsters. So that could be what hurts it the most. Not you need that setup of banishing monsters, and it might take a bit of setup to do that. So right now I'm on the fence with this card. It has potential, but we need to set up the whole banish system first. Next card is 3 copies of Aqua Jet normal spell. Target 1 face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua you control. It gains 1,000 attack. Full on aggro water card. And this is better than an equip spell because it doesn't come with the baggage that equip spells do. It does the same thing. It kind of reminds me of a card called Backup Rider. We gave it 2,000 attack. This is a permanent 1,000 attack on a fish, sea serpent, or aqua type. So, yeah. I could see some kind of water aggro deck. They run Hey Trunades. You put on these Aqua Jets on, and it hits really hard. That's all I have to say. It's not a great card. It's good that it's not an equip spell though. So, but yeah, there could be some kind of water aggro deck. Next reward is a card we only get 1 copy of, but it's a very interesting card because it's really weird. It doesn't really fit. That's Black Ray Lancer. Dark, rank 3, Beast Warrior. Requiring 2 level 3 water monsters. 2100 attack, 600 defense. Once per turn, you can detach a Nexus material from this card. Target 1 face-up monster on the field. Negate that target's effects until the end phase. This is a very weird card because of the composition of it. It's dark, it's Beast Warrior, and it requires 2 water monsters. So this just doesn't make sense. Beast Warriors are always earth, fire, it's dark, and then it requires 2 water monsters. So the whole thing just doesn't make sense. But what you get is a card that is really good. 2100 attack, so it could take out most normal summon level 4 monsters or lower. Then it comes with 2 effect negations. And this is an ability that straight up wins games. Like, you have the, I want to say Karakuri Hotel, but it sounds so stupid. I've completely lost the ability to name cards, but you know what I mean. Effect negation on monsters is pretty good. They play Alistair, you negate it. They do anything. They play that lead-off monster to start an effect. Shiranui, they play Shiranui Squire, negate it. Really good ability. So you get this guy on the board, you control the board, you can probably kill whatever tried to activate its effect and didn't. So it's kind of like a quick effect. It comes with 2 of them, and it's on 2100 attack. The tricky thing is this, of course, acquiring 2 level 3 water monsters makes a Dark Beast Warrior. You get no benefit, no synergy of those monsters that you used. You're running with some kind of water deck. This card gets no benefit from it, so anti-synergy card. But you know what? It's good. It's a good rank 3 toolbox card. So as long as you build a deck of water monsters to make it. So one thing I could see right away is Cristrons. So Cristrons are already water. They run level 3 monsters, so they're an immediate fit for this Black Ray Lancer. Okay, so we get our second copy of this other card, Fish Depth Charge, Normal Trap. Tribute 1 fish monster to target 1 card on the field. Destroy that target. If you do, draw 1 card. So this card saw play back in the day with my Golden Flying Fish deck, because that deck primarily ran fish monsters. So this tribute, target and destroy 1 card, draw a card. Really good. This is like a better Ballista Squad. Now the problem with this is it only needs fish. No aqua types, no sea serpent types. So a lot of these cards are inclusive of sea serpent or aqua, like Aqua Jet. This is only fish. So you're going to just straight up building a fish deck. Now with the Golden Flying Fish deck, one of the key components of that deck was Oystermeister. This is just a free card. And Oystermeister's fish, and when it's sent to the field to the graveyard, you get those tokens, oyster tokens, that are also fish. So this is basically 2 fish tributes in 1 card. And with the depth charge, now that we have 2 of them, it's pretty good. So that's 1 card that you can use to build such a deck. Of course, the Golden Flying Fish itself has built-in control to tribute those monsters and destroy things. So yeah, this gives life to Golden Flying Fish. So another reason to level up Shark as fast as possible is to get a second copy of this card. Now that we talked about his cards, let's get to Shark's exclusive duel skills, and there are 6 of them. First one is Monarch of the Deep Sea, number 32. At the beginning of the duel, add 1 number 32 Shark Drake to your extra deck. Can be only used once if your life points are at 2,000 or below. Return 1 number 32 Shark Drake from your graveyard to your extra deck. So these are one of those starter skills that every one of these Zexal characters have, and kind of like a placeholder before we get the real card in a box. So this is probably the best one though. Number 32 Shark Drake, 2800 attack, requires 3 level 4 monsters, so it's a bit of a setup, but when you get it out on the board and it destroys something, you can bring back a monster and reduce its attack by 1,000 and hit it again. So, and you leave it in attack mode. So it's a pretty strong card. Kind of like an aggro OTK type card. So yeah. Yeah. This is a good skill to run for like a level 4, rank 4 deck. So I run this with 6 Sams, for example, because they have so many ways of special summoning level 4 monsters with the different samurai monsters that do come out as level 4. So this is a skill that works for me as an auto-dueling deck with 6 samurai. Next skill is Magic Combo. Can be used to turn Big Jaws as normal summon. Play 1 Aqua Jet face down from your deck. The skill can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. So there you go. This is specific synergy with Big Jaws and Aqua Jet. You have to run both of them in your deck. So basically your Big Jaws becomes a 2800 beater. And with what's available, you can make a quick aggro deck. You know, play Hey True Nade, have Big Jaws, tutor out your Aqua Jet, probably have a Water Hazard, something to cheat out another Big Jaws. There could be something here with Magic Combo. Basically, get a free 1,000 attack on a monster. It's pretty good, and twice per duel too. So it's like a better beatdown. It thins your deck. I see a lot of potential with Magic Combo, Big Jaws, and Aqua Jet. These are some cards that I would try to get right away. Next skill is You're Getting on My Nerves. Can be used during your next turn after your monster is destroyed by a battle or card effect. Increase the attack of 1 rank 4 or lower Xyz water monster by 500 until the end of the turn. The skill can be used once per turn and twice per duel. So this would be good as a generic skill, but it only works for water Xyz monsters. It'll be nice if someone's destroyed and you increase the attack of a monster by 500. That would be nice, but this only works for water Xyz monsters. So not that many of them in the game right now, so not too useful at the moment. But when we get more, might be something. I assume the Shark Drake's going to come out in a box, so they might have other water Xyz monsters in that same box. Next skill is Territory of the Sharks. The level of all water monsters you control becomes 4 until the end of the next turn. This skill can only be used once per turn and twice per duel. This skill can only be used if you begin a duel with a deck or extra deck that only has water monsters. Yeah, this skill, Territory of the Sharks, isn't very useful right now because we don't have any water Xyz monsters that make level 4. This is useful right now for generic level 4 Xyz summons, so like Stellar Knight Delteros is one that you can make with this card. Yeah. Specifically only for... No, that's wrong, because this only works with an extra deck with water monsters, so the Stellar Knight Delteros is a light monster, so it won't work. So when we get the Shark Drake, it might be useful. Only rank 4 water XE summons. Very specific. Not useful right now. Next skill, Shark's Revenge, can be used when your life points are lower than your opponent's. Increase the attack of a rank 4 or lower water sea serpent XE monster by 1500 per 3 XE materials until the end of the turn. This can only be used once per duel. Very weird words. This is not good wording at all. But basically, you have lower life points. You have a Sea Serpent Xyz monster. It gains 1500 attack if it still has all 3 Xyz materials on it. So, there's no eligible monsters at the moment. Monster has to replenish its Xyz materials. Pretty useless skill right now. Last skill is pretty generic, not really water. Overlay removal. Send all Xyz materials for 1 rank 4 or lower Xyz monster you control to the graveyard. The skill can only be used once per duel. So this is basically, you lose all the Xyz materials on a monster, and you send those cards back to the graveyard for either resurrection or recycling. So it kind of works for a card like the yugioh, the Risen card, because that card doesn't do anything with its Xyz materials. So it's a card that you can just put on the board and then just recycle those monsters back. So this could be useful for something if you have a deck that makes use of the graveyard and brings stuff back for resources. And that's just what the skill does. Last free card we get this week is from Mission Circuit, and it's a new card called Playmaker. It's a card we only get 1 copy of. Warrior Xyz Earth Monster, 2600 attack, 2500 defense, requiring 3 level 5 monsters. If this card is special summoned, change all face down defense position monsters on the field to face up attack. Flip effects are not activated. At the end of the damage step, if this card attacked a monster, you can detach a material for this card, then target one monster your opponent controls with the highest attack, your choice if tied. This card can attack again in a row on that monster. So, if Sub-Terrors were still meta, if Sylvans were still meta, this would be really good. You can flip over that mushroom and pop it. And this flips over set monsters, no ability triggering. Pretty good. You attack, detach an Xyz material, attack the strongest monster again. This could be like an OTK against a bunch of set cards. This card's good against set monsters, but it doesn't do anything to counter the back row. Yeah, 2600 attack. It hits those monsters, but doesn't do anything to counter the back row. So, yeah. But the bigger obstacle, of course, is this card requires the overlay of 3 level 5 monsters. We have ways to do with the level 3s and the level 4s right now, some of the cards we have, but doing with level 5 is a little tricky because they all require a tribute. And, yeah. Unless you have like 3 the trickies or something, or 3 cyber dragons, some way to cheat out some level 5 monsters quickly, but those are harder to do. And that just hurts this card's overall playability. Despite being called Playmaker, probably will not see a ton of play. Alright, I've been sneezing my ass off, so I can't really talk much. Doug Dimmaduel is here. Casual deck of the week. You know, these auto-duel decks, they don't get the respect they deserve. They level up your characters, and this is straight up auto-duel deck trying to take advantage of the stupid AI, and hard to mess up with a deck like this. Rank 4 XZ summoning full of monsters that do special summon themselves, so you get some quick XZ summoning. It helps that some of your monsters are prismatic, like they're free XZ monsters, like your General and your Utopia are all prismatic monsters, so like adds to your duel assessment, of course, and that's great. And we have Shark, so you know, having a good auto duel deck that's reliable will help you level up the characters faster. So here is Doug's casual deck of the week with an auto duel deck.
Hey there, this is Doug Dimmaduel with Doug's Casual Deck of the Week. So this week we're going to just make something kind of fun and just, it's really for the sake of auto-dueling because, with this whole shark event going on, and I know by the time this episode airs, we'll already have unlocked shark at this point, I just kind of want to rack up some points so I could make sure that I could do some adequate farming. But in order to do so, I just thought I'd do a generic rank 4 XE's deck because, there's a lot of cards that we've gotten in the past that are just really good for the sake of getting into those rank 4 plays, and especially some new support as well. Specifically, the newest support being Goblinberg, the level 4 warrior with 1400 attack. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your hand, and then you could change the card. Then you have to change this card to defense position. It's got 0 defense. But the whole point is that you're going into an XE's play to hopefully get that rank 4 action going. So, really, you could just have a whole bunch of stuff in your extra deck, from Tin Archduke to Gaga Cowboy to, of course, your Utopia. That's Stellar Knight Deltaros. You could always go with the new SR, that number 50 Black Ship of Corn. You got Gagagigo the Risen, that 2950 attack monster that requires 3 level 4s, and then Gagaga Samurai. There's a whole bunch of rank 4s that are generic, and they're going to be adding more and more to each deck box that's going to be coming out. So pretty exciting stuff. But really, the whole point of this is just to kind of hit auto-duel when you're out and doing those PvE, standard duelist events, something like that. So, you run your 3 copies of Wall of Destruction, run your 3 copies of Drowning Mirror Force, run your 3 copies of Dimensional Prison. Your AI is not going to get tripped up by setting down traps. The one thing that I can't stand about the auto-duel feature, though, is that when it comes to trap cards, it always leaves one slot open. For example, if you open with 4 traps, or if you open up with 3 traps in your hand, realistically, I just want to set all 3 of those traps, or set 3 out of 4 of those cards on the field. The auto-duel always likes to leave one spot empty, and when you're in a pinch, that could be a problem. So that's how really you'll lose some of your duels that way. But other than that, the monsters that I have are very simply put, special summonable. Of course, the Goblinberg, if I have a 3rd copy, I'll definitely add one to this deck, but I only have 2 copies. So then on top of that, I added my 3 copies of Dinotherium. This is that Wind Beast 1600 attack level 4 monster where you could special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Dinotherium once per turn this way, but then when it's special summoned this way, your opponent can target one level 4 monster in either player's graveyard, and they could special summon that card to their side of the field. So this is definitely a turn 1 or a turn 2 play. You really want to see if you could special summon this on the field. Otherwise, you'll have your cards like Goblinberg, or depending on what's in the graveyards, you may just want to normal summon this monster. But then, people may have forgot about this guy, but this is Evil Swarm Mandragora. It's level 4 plant, 1550 attack, 1450 defense. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this is just a free level 4. You can drop it on the field, especially with all of the swarming that's going on. Even if you have a monster on the field, your opponent may have 2 or 3 cards on the field, as far as monsters go, and you go from there. And then I just wanted a nice generic level 4 that just has a good secondary effect. So I'm going with Wind Up Juggler. All right, so Wind Up Juggler, after damage calculation, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster. This effect can be used only once while this card is face up on the field. So that's basically the whole setup. It's just getting into those rank 4 plays, typically getting into Utopia or getting into Gaga Cowboy, or your Black Ship of Corn is actually a pretty decent rank 4 play now too. But then, just having cards like Dimensional Prison, where you target the attacking monster and banish it, your Wall of Destruction, Wall of Disruption, not Destruction. Just very good trap cards. We have access to just about any of those. So really, the way I run this deck is with 9 traps and 11 monsters, and usually you do good enough to get into an easy rank 4 play. But again, the purpose of building a deck like this is to make sure that your AI doesn't mess it up completely, because AI can just be just a bear. I can't deal with the AI. The AI for opponents are always very good, but the AI for when I'm trying to put a deck together can be just a pain in the butt. So this, I've seen very limited issues, again, except for what I mentioned about the trap cards. But yeah, it's a good deck. Something similar to that. Just get some level 4 monsters that can special summon, and yeah, away you go. It handles most decks pretty well. So, yeah, that's it. That's my casual deck of the week. We're just getting into some auto-duel action. So, with that being said, I will see you in the next episode.
All right, thanks, Doug. You can check out Doug's Casual Deck of the Week every week on this podcast. Check out his Twitter account at Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Talk. All right, so we have upcoming news for all of November and some of December. Tag Duel Tournament in early November. New UR card Kachi Kochi Dragon. New SR Emperor Maju Garzette. Early November, Dual Quest with a new SR called Mirror the Starbearer. Kaiba Cup's happening this month, so November 11th to November 22nd. Kaiba Cup is going on. I don't expect any. They don't have any like real events going on. Just a bunch of things. Mid-November is probably when the Kaiba Cup's going on. Tour Guide Bingo, new SR card Attribute Bomb. Mid-November also Mission Circuit, new SR card called Blizzard Lizard. Late November when the Kaiba Cup's probably over. Dimensional Disaster Buster Gundle event again. New UR card Gaia, the Fierce Knight Origin, and new SR Magician's Valkyria. Late November, DSOD Taya gets retired to the gate. No more Reminiscence of the Future. Late November, Dual Quest, new SR card called Mermaid Knight. And early December, DD Kastle Assault. Seems like we'll finally get Axel Brody. I'm excited for those cards. Given the Volcanics, I hope they don't make us buy through the Volcanic box to make use of those cards. That would be pretty bad, but we have Axel Brody finally. That's interesting. In November, there's no legendary duelist to acquire. They did Shark at the end of October, and Axel is going to be early December. So I wonder how there's going to be no one in November. Still, there's like an early week in December. I guess that's why they do it. I'm not sure there will be one at the end of the year, at the end of December, but that is all of, that's it. So thanks for listening, everyone. Listen and subscribe to this podcast anywhere you get your podcast. Check out these notes at theduelassessment.wordpress.com. Email me if anything, duelassessment@gmail.com, or you find me on Twitter at duel_assessment. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.